Hi, this is Professor Deb Wallace, and I'm doing a video tutorial on how to conduct a peer-reviewed resource search for your final paper. Depending on whatever class that you're taking, and even if you're not taking classes with me, a research paper may be required of any of your courses. And so they may also ask for you to include supporting your main theme and your subtopics under that main theme resources that are published, that have been peer reviewed, and are considered academic reliable sources. I will actually walk you through some of the databases that the University of Akron subscribes to help you find some of those sources. So where I am right now is I'm actually in my Akron Experience account, and you'll notice that I'm in my Akron account because there are some resources here for you to access. So you can access these resources either in my Akron account, and you can go to Bierce Libraries, Beerson Science Library here, or you can go to the University of Akron's front door webpage, and you can access it here at library. So it doesn't matter which way you go, as long as you get to the library section. So I'm actually going to access it from the front page of the U Akron account. I'm going to close that out. So what this does is it actually takes you to in the libraries, it takes you to a page where you notice these boxes where it says search, quick links, today's hours, the libraries that are on campus, the archival services. But the box that we're going to focus on right now is the search box. So you can actually search by subject and course guides. You can use Google Scholar, and we'll actually come back to that. We can do databases by title or databases by subject. I'm familiar with databases by title, so I'm going to walk through that process of just looking for sources using title of databases. So the first database I want to look at is Academic Search Complete, which is actually right here. And Academic Search Complete and EBSCO actually have the same setup. So I'll walk you through Academic Search Complete, but I will also display EBSCO. I won't go through the same steps. But here with Academic Search Complete, nice little. Academic Search Complete is a database where you can actually search for books. You can search for articles. I don't know that they do blogs or vlogs, but this is where you will be able to find peer review resources. And so what I like to do is, because this database is really cool, you can actually there's a list of other databases that are within Academic Search Complete. So you'll notice this blue link right here where it says choose databases. And once you choose that hyperlink, another box will open up. Now notice there is a ton of other databases in this database, right? So I'm scrolling. So just for fun, I'm actually going to select all of these other databases. Now, pay attention to that little note there. We're going to ignore it and hit OK, right? It's thinking. All right. So now what we can do is we can actually type in our subject that we are having to research. So for the sake of this conversation, we'll just do women, and we'll do scientists. Women in science education. And what we want to do is we always want to make sure we select the field. So I'm going to select all text field. Now, if you want to search by author, if you want to search by title, if you want to search by subject terms or source or an abstract, that's fine. But I like to just make sure I'm all encompassing in terms of the text when the database is searching for text. So we'll do women in science education, and let's do in the United States. All text again. So now I'm going to click search. I'm going to let this database think. So this is very huge. So you'll notice that the search results, they're listed in 50 and from 1 through 50. So they're listed every 50 articles or every 50 sources. But you'll notice that this page has one of 50 of 162,000 articles. That's too many, right? So what we need to do is we're actually going to use these filters on the side here to narrow down our search, right? So I like to narrow down my search by being able to look at full text, right? Because I mentioned that you need to have scholarly peer-reviewed articles. I'm going to check scholarly and peer-reviewed, right? Notice that the number's coming down. I'm actually going to do academic journals. That number's coming down some more. I'm probably going to do this database. And I'm actually going to do this database. These are additional databases. And we'll do, I think I did journals. We'll do journals. Let's do journals. See how the number keeps going down? And let's see. This is from our original database that we chose. We can actually do. So this will be helpful. This box actually is from the databases that we chose earlier. So once we choose these databases, they actually show up down here on the side in terms of the number of articles that correspond with our choices. So I'm actually going to go through and choose sociological connection, do political science, right? And this is nice if you actually want to look within your major as well. So if there are things that are specific to your major, which may be required of you if you're taking any of my classes, because I normally require a final paper that requires either you define diverse people that have contributed to your major or field, or I require that you find a person of color, an African American, who has contributed to your academic or intended profession. So this database, or these databases, will actually help with that. So I'm going to go back up here, and I'm actually going to also change my timeline filter. So I think it's always good to have maybe a good 10 years worth of data to pull from. Notice that number keeps coming down little by little. And it's updating. That number has come down significantly because I went from 19, 17, 18. I'm going to actually make that time gap smaller. Oh, what's going on with that? Going to make the time gap smaller some more. So we're down to 257 articles. While that's a huge difference between 162,000 and 257, that's still a lot of articles to get through. So I'm actually going to play with my timeline filter some more, and I'm going to make that gap a little smaller. Where did my timeline go? I think my timeline disappeared. I want to start over. I'm getting rid of my published date. And I'm going to go back to where I was before and look for my little timeline there. There we go. No. There we go. So I'm actually going to scoop this in. Which probably works out better for me because I really want it to be more current than in the past. Still too many. So we're gonna scoop this in some more. Still too many. So you'll notice I hit limit 2, and that's where I was able to.
Today I'm teaming up with Wayfair to give you some simple updates.
Sorry about these pop-ups. There we go. So here we can actually eliminate more if we want to. So let's say we want to eliminate journals. So we can actually go to the journals. Or we can change our topic. So notice I changed my search parameters, and notice how that number came down a little slower, or it came down significantly. So if I wanted to be a little bit more specific, and we'll do engineering. Now, see how I got more and more specific? And what happened? My search narrowed down a whole lot. So we have this stuff, right? Disabled woman. Now, there's good and bad in this. You can actually, you would have to read through the abstracts, which is usually it's a really nice, concise summary of the article at the very beginning of the article to make sure it's something that you want to use. So if those abstracts are it's indicative of what would fit with your topic, great. But if those abstracts are not, then you're going to have to go back and do your search again. So I'm just going to switch some things around. Disabled, and I'm going to use, right? So notice how I switch things around, and this is, right, gives a few more options instead of just 3. So you want to be able to play with your wording when you are doing your search, right? So this is just one example. So EBSCO, which is similar to this setup, you would do the same thing. So I'm actually going to get out of here. and I'm going to go to E for EBSCO. Book collection. And you'll notice that EBSCO, like Academic Search Complete, also has a similar setup. You'll notice the setup. You can actually go in here and choose databases. For this particular one, I'm just going to choose a, I'll just overlap with Academic Search Complete. And for the sake of this particular tutorial, I will go to, where are we at? Public Affairs Index, right? And then I'm going to just hit OK. So the same thing, we'll do we'll do an elementary teachers. We'll do Ohio, right? And so we always want to make sure we have all text. I always use all text. You can choose whichever field or whichever filter you want to use. And that's pretty small compared to what we saw with the Academic Search Complete. So what we want to do is we want to use our filters. So I'm going to do full text. I'm actually going to also play with the timeline filter. So I'm going to move my timeline filter up. Yeah, I'm going to move it up some more. I'm going to move it up some more. Or down. So the rule of thumb is that when you find, or when you're using a peer-reviewed source for your final paper, is that that peer-reviewed source should be within 10 years. So within 10 years of the current date. So notice how that number's coming down as I'm playing with the filter. So that's what you want to do. So you want to make sure that your sources are within 10 years and that they, of course, are supporting your main thesis and your supporting points. This is a doable number. So you can actually go through these
Lately, Jeff thinks everything is a
you can go through these articles. And one thing I want to point out is you will always want to find an article that has full text. So I chose full text for a reason, so that you can actually just download the article. I can download the article and I can read through the abstract. Sometimes you can actually read the abstract right here, but sometimes that's not always the case. So another source is JSTOR. So I'm going to go to J. And some of you may or may not be familiar with JSTOR. So JSTOR is just a different database. So I'm going to do so I just added some topics in there, or some things that were related to my search. So you'll notice that 1 out of 25. So these articles are listed in groups of 25, and this is 25 out of 886. So just like EBSCO and Academic Search Complete, I'm going to actually change the filter, the publication dates, from, let's say, 2000 to, and actually we'll do 2008, 2018. See how that brings that number down completely? Almost, yeah, almost 90%. So I'm actually going to do African American. I may do anthropology. Let's see here. In terms of subject, I may do education. I may do feminist studies. Again, like Academic Search Complete and EBSCO, you can actually choose the subject areas that you want your word search to overlap in. And I'm just going to hit search, right? Update my results, which is what I'm doing now. Now this is fantastic, right? We can actually narrow this down. I'm actually going to do 2. I'm going to update my results. Perfect, 6. So now I can actually go through and read which of these articles. And again, you want to look at the abstract. So here I want to point out, now notice the setup of this database. So you'll notice that it says this is a journal article, right? And then it says you can download PDF, right? So it says I accept and proceed, so I'm able to download. Fail to reload. So you never want to pay for an article. That should never be the case. All articles should be free. Since you're a University of Akron student, I don't pay for articles. I have paid for articles because I'm finishing up my dissertation, but I do not pay for articles typically. So this is the abstract right here. Again, it's a summary of the article, just to give you an idea of what the article is about, so you can actually pick out things that would be supportive to your main thesis. So you want to read that, but you'll notice that it downloaded as a PDF pretty quickly. So you want to choose sources that are easily downloadable here, right? In EBSCO and Academic Search Complete, that was indicative of the red PDF file that you saw here. So the red PDF full text, so you can actually just click on that and download it. And actually for EBSCO, it's an ebook, right? Black students. So these are all downloadable. So you can just click on this link and it would download. With JSTOR, you notice that you have to click the blue download button. Now, so yeah. And that's also because we chose our filters wisely. So the other database that I want to talk about is, let me get out of here. 1, 2. Is Google Scholar. And actually, I like Google Scholar because most students are familiar with this. So let's do since this is a pretty interesting topic, I think. So Google Scholar I like because the setup is different, and I think we don't always pry a little bit to get what we need. So you'll notice under Google Scholar, I typed in homosexuality and health professionals, and I actually should have said that, homosexual health professionals. I wonder if that will yield something different. Let's see. Okay. Now this is nice. So you'll notice there are several articles here, or what looks to be available articles. So notice here, these are the filters. So it says anytime since, 2018, 2017. And actually you can custom range. So let's do between 2016 and 2018. We can sort by relevance. There we go. So then we can actually, after we do our custom range, so you have to change each filter and update. You can't change all those filters at once. Then we're going to sort by relevance. I'm not going to include patents. We're just going to include citations. We're going to search again. Okay. So with Google Scholar,